Hi, in this video I'll demonstrate how to remove the radio receiver, the little onboard computer for the media player, and I'll take you through this step by step. I'll also show you how to open it, and possibly if you need to change a fan or just blow it out, I'll also show you those steps. I am not showing any coding or programming of the unit. I'm merely showing you the steps to get the unit out of the car, and then if you are going to be replacing it, how to replace it or put it back in the car. To disconnect the battery on this vehicle is here in the corner. This is the passenger side because this is a right-hand side drive vehicle. Here is the battery. Now I just need to loosen the negative. You just need to have a long extension arm, get it all the way in there onto the negative, rotate this a few times, and then pull this out. So I've just loosened that nut over there. I have not removed the nut completely, I don't need to. So I'm going to lift this terminal off. So the negative has been lifted, and I just usually wrap it so that it cannot touch the chassis. All right, so you've got to start here with this plastic grill. You've got to remove this. There are two screws here which are holding the screen in place. You just need to insert your pry tool here on the side, anywhere on the side or anywhere on that side. So I'll just take this on the side, depress it, put it underneath the plastic and gently lift. This is a size 10. Right, now come to the front portion of the dash. You need to first start by removing this panel over here. Start at this corner over here. This whole thing has to be pulled towards you, and along the travel here there are attachment points and they all have to be lifted towards you. Of course you should use pry tools, but I'm just going to use a screwdriver. What I do is I just take my screwdriver and I wrap it in a cotton shirt just so that it doesn't scuff the panel here. I'm going to get my screwdriver here in between because this part's going to come out. And while I get my screwdriver here, I'm actually using my nails here and my fingers to actually pull all towards me. So there's a bit of space here on the side and I'm actually pulling towards me. So there we go. So as I wedge my screwdriver here, notice how it has actually released those pins on the side there. And now I can start loosening along here. All right, so I'm going to open the glove box to give me some grip over here because now it has opened here and it has definitely opened here. So there underneath it's coming loose. So this whole section here is actually already come loose. And as I go along here, I take my fingers and I'm pulling towards me. Not too firmly, just a little bit. So I'm now taking my fingers underneath and then on top here and I'm just guiding it. Look at this. There we go. One. Right, before I loosen it at the end, there is a wire here that is quite tight. So I'm going to loosen this wire right now. So I just put my screwdriver in here and I wedge it there and that loosens this. So I've loosened this wire here so this can now move. So there's an attachment point there and I just do that and there's one underneath and there it comes out. So that's what it looks like. I just loosened that so it gives me some free play here. All right, so I don't need to unplug anything. I can even flip this and let it rest on the floor. All right, to remove the screen, I've just got two screws, one there and one there. So I can remove those screws quickly. So it's two star screws. When you're removing the screws, just be very careful not to drop the screws down in the vent here. Now I just need to pull this towards me. So I go like that. And there the screen can come out. Just be careful, there's a wire attached to the back. To fully remove the screen, I need to remove these four connectors. The wire is at the back here, I just have to release it. I'm just flipping this the other way around. And I just take my pliers and pinch the sides of this fastener here. And that allows this to pop out. So now I can flip this back, rotate it, and I can just disconnect each one of these connectors. And then here is the screen. There are two screws over here. These are size 10. And be very careful not to let these fall in the vent area here. These are size 10. They're the same size that were on the top here. And now I can pull this out. Gently, I slide it out. There is a cable at the back there. Okay, there are a lot of connectors at the back here, so you'll have to release them one by one. So I just squeeze and release. There's one, and there you can see there's some at the bottom and some over there. I've released all the connectors. All right, so if you need to replace your radio receiver, you'll just need to unscrew these screws on the side here. And now if you need to replace your receiver, you'll have to put the brackets on the new unit. Right, let's have a look inside here. All right, so I've removed the screws and I'm just putting my screwdriver in to lift the lid here. Just remember that screw over there, look at that, it seats all the way in there. I'm just going to remove this plate over here. And if you want to remove this board, you just have to remove this ribbon cable and this one. You have to open here and here, the cable will come out and then this board can actually come out. There's the board is actually loose, so the board will come out, but I don't want to pull it because I'm going to have to remove those cables and this is a working unit. If I need to replace the fan, I just unplug this over here So I just remove that and I can slide the fan out like this on the side. So in order to replace these fans, I don't have to actually get this board off. And now if you want to just inspect the fan, this is the part number of the fan. This happens to be a Panasonic and it slides in here. There are 2 fans. You'll obviously have to disconnect that side as well. While I'm here, I'm just going to blow it out. Now to put this back together, I'm going to start here with the faceplate. And I guess that this is for the Bluetooth because there it is open here. It's obviously got this plastic because it's not blocking the radio waves. And this is probably an antenna right here. So I'll just put this back. All right, so make sure that's seated like that. Okay, once you have your replacement unit, you'll need to fit your brackets. Right, now it needs these 2 brackets over here. You'll notice that they are directional. It says LH and this one says RH, right-hand side. Okay, so on the unit, it also gives you a clue, LH, RH. It can only go one way. And there's the LH, which goes with the LH. There are 2 raised nipples, which go into these 2 holes here. That's why it can only go one way. There we go. It's now seated. All right, the unit is now ready to be reinstalled in the vehicle. Right, to replace the radio receiver, I need to slot this in. Notice there is this rubber foot here. It's going to go inside there. There is a space for it. The first thing I have to do is connect all these connectors. There is no way to connect these mistakenly. What I mean is every single one of these connectors is different and they're color coded. So you shouldn't have a problem reconnecting this. All right, so I'm just reconnecting them. Notice it's color coded. They have fallen in there. I have to just pull them and get them into these slots over here. Now just note on this vehicle, there are some empty spaces. So for example, the pink, the black and the orange are not here on this side. I've connected the last one over there and this side it is a full house and I can just slot this in. Note there's a slot space there and then over here there is this finger. That finger is going to slide there. Now I can just return these 2 screws. Right, check that this is in place. There is no rattle here. Now I can replace the screen. Right, now to replace the screen, I'm just going to flip it up and quickly plug in all the connectors. Now the last thing is this fastener over here. It just goes into this hole over there. Right, the cables are now in place and now note that protrusion over there. There's one over here and there's a hole there and a hole there. So this is going to slide in like this. So I'm sliding it in. Now it's not fitting quite right, so I'm just going to have a look at the cables at the back if anything is being squashed. Right, there we go. So the cable at the back was being squashed. There is a place to feed it. There is like a little hook at the back where the cable goes into. So now it's sitting perfectly. So now all I need to do is screw in these screws. Now there are 2 screws that go at the top of the screen. So just remember to insert these 2 screws. And I just need to return this cover. Notice there is this gap here, that is by design. Okay, so I'm returning this panel here. First step is to just clamp this wire. I loosened this wire in order to give me some free play here. So now I just need to put the wire back in this little loop here. Okay, so the wire is now strapped and now I can just feed this into the right place. All right, so I'm going to press here from the center and I'm going to use a balanced hand and it's going in. Right, so you want to see that it is flush. Looking at the top, it is flush. Right, to reconnect the battery, so I just get the negative terminal in my hand. I now feed it at the back there. It will spark, and there it is now seated properly, so I can tighten it. Tighten it to about 8 to 10 Newton meters. You can use a torque wrench. And there it is tightened onto the negative terminal. Notice the negative terminal is protruding slightly. So notice how I slide it in and then down. And now I just turn these anti-clockwise to lock it. Check that the emergency lights are working. They are, I can hear them. Check the start stop. Yes, there we can see it is functioning. So everything here is working correctly. Make sure the screen is working, the radio, go through your settings.